Lately, I have this instinct to like get back to myself, just like start containing my whole self and integrate and go into that space where I'm whole, I'm everything that is, I am my higher self, I am this, not this, which is not human, and I just need to ascend into that reality. And they have been calling me to just like go here, you need to be here, and I'm like, I don't really want to. And then they keep ringing in my head, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get back on meditation and start doing, like, get back on it, like be in that persona, be that person again. So I think, like, since I have done this daily, I think I'm going to spare some time during the day to tap into that identity again, so to speak, and start living from there. But there is a catch on this. I feel like if I did it like this, if I do it like this, there are parts of humanity that I will forget, but I am not forgetful person, even though that it in itself is questionable because I forget so many words these days, and not being human has, at least the usual humans, the general humans, not being that person is like a death sentence for my work because I need to like interact with other my client who is still living in their human body, in their human experience, in their three-dimensional human self. So if I want to do like ascend myself right now, I can do that. It is that sometimes, do I want to lose that um, intuition, that feeling, that connectivity? I'm still like questioning if I want to do it that way. What do you think about this? In your experience, have you ever lose some of part of yourself because you choose to show up differently? I certainly did. I personally myself, I forget who I was, which is the person who just know what who they are and not really bothered by anything else other than my conviction, my dreams, my journey. So that part exists, and I'm like, and then I have the invitation to go into the lowest, and I go there, and eventually I'm there. I'm just like not tuned into my own higher timeline, and I get to forget how to be that person, and I just be in the lowest point of my timeline. And I wonder like if I can still tap into the lowest timeline and be respectful, be in gratitude for other people's experience, and not really being so agitated about their experience, but what they are having. So I wonder like if I can do that. This is interesting because I think like I can speak English clearly when I literally have my apps, because right now I have forgotten, I have not worked on my apps anymore. But yeah, like I can speak clearly like that. If I'm like crouching like this and I'm just like not really tense up my stomach, my muscle stomach, my abs, I'll be like speaking really awkwardly. That's interesting. So here I am standing really straight, and actually, we need to work on our abs again. You know, this is a great opening because my mind have been working on this thing, which is what we want to talk about today, which is like I'm so obsessed with physical symmetry and why I think you should do that too. So I have so many physical asymmetry from the neck, from the face, and shoulder, my back, and my hips. My feet is in a different size. The sole of my feet is in a different size. It's so weird. And I can see like my, what do you call it? Like on the right, it was a lot smaller, but on the left, it's a lot bigger. So I don't know if it's because what do you call it? I don't know the system title for this. Sympathetic, lymphatic, what do you call it? That thing, system that just let the toxin of your body out of your system. Lymphatic, lymphatic system. So I don't know what happened, but I do know how it happened. Meaning that there are times, numerous of times, when I cause an accident to my physical body, meaning that I have someone pushed the motorbike that I and my mom was on, and we fell from the bike, and then I was get twisted. My feet was on the wheel, like the web on the wheel. So my feet was like getting there, and I don't know how I get there. I just like, oh, we fell, and then suddenly my feet was there. So that's one occasion where it happened. And then another time I was walking downstairs and I somehow saw a ghost walking from the kitchen to the bathroom, and I saw it, but I was walking downstairs. So this is the kitchen, this is the bathroom, this is the living room, and this is the stairs. So I'm like walking down the stairs, and I'm like watching that ghost, and also like in my peripheral views, I see the ghost walking to the bathroom. I'm like, what? So I'm like shocked, but also like I lose the footing, and then my feet just in between the staircase. That is another case, and I knock out, and then my father brought me to my parents' bathroom, and I'm like bleeding somewhere, and I don't know what happened after. I just never concerned about the muscle alignment anymore at that point. But then there are also so many times I fell from my own bike when I'm on it. And I'm like, I don't know. There's like too many. And when you see someone else's face, you kind of see like, oh, this side is actually bigger. This side is actually not symmetrical. The way your lips space is actually not similar, and the nostrils is not the same. The width of your eyes not the same. The protruding of your eyeballs is not the same. One is actually a lot forward than the other is actually not. And the shoulders, it's it's just an asymmetry. Like if you see any asymmetry from anyone out there, you kind of notice that there are some physical trauma, whatever they do to their diet. And diet also take part of how symmetrical your body is, because when you have food that is not good for your system, like when I was eating spicy food, I don't sleep well because my system just collapsed in that time. Or maybe I sleep I with too much milk in my system, and I just can't function well while I was asleep. So then you contracting, you are moving your body, maybe you are in you are, what do you call it? What is the name for this? Like when you sleep like this because you are trying to protect your belly because it hurts, but you don't necessarily know that you have a stomach ache because it's not that painful, but your system, the nervous system trying to protect you, and then that's all the posture that you do throughout the night. That is can be one way. Or maybe you have an old bed, so you are not sleeping in a straight way, instead of you're crouching in your sleeping posture. You can also do that to have an asymmetry body, physical body. And then what else? Maybe you have a trauma. So it's not only like you fell from bike, or maybe something happened that is out of your personal force. You probably can have other trauma, other type of trauma, which is what I had. I was assaulted sexually, sorry to say this without warning, and because it was done by my family that is living in my house at the time, I trying to protect myself by sleeping on just one side of my body. So that causing, I was consciously protecting myself by sleeping on one side, not really turning around, stretching my body in order to have a relaxed night. So I sleeping on one side from then on, and I didn't realize it because I'm like, I'm fine. It just happened. I don't really care about it. But eventually, the trauma stayed for quite a while. Actually, I didn't I didn't address it until it happened when I was like fifth grade, and then I was in college in third year. That was the time I was like, oh, I actually have a really deep trauma on that, and that's why like I have all this asymmetry. I don't really feel good about myself. I feel so disgusted about my own skin and all that stuff. So the feel disgusting is actually a lot more complex than just the sexual trauma itself. There are also part why I have such a terrible diet that essentially making me feel like something is crawling on my skin, and that is, there is so many other complex idea around it, but that is why, which is like possibly if you have something along the line, along the types that I have called out, you probably have a physical misalignment, physical asymmetry. So I have worked on it because I can't breathe well. That's one thing. Why I am so obsessed. I cannot breathe well. I cannot move my body with ease. I can't walk, even though I don't have any disability. I cannot walk properly because my legs has been not aligned for so long that the muscle is contracting and creating knots all over the body. And I get to notice, oh, actually my shoulders actually have knots right here. Then I release it, and then I found a knot on my feet, which is on the right feet, and I address that, and now it's fine. And I have it on the sole of my feet, which is that one is still on the work, and I have work on my neck right now. So that's why like my facial my facial symmetry is a lot different when you see the first video, because my eyes. So here's the thing, your eyes, you probably can see better if you have a better physical symmetry, because your eyeballs connected to your neck, and the neck, if it's not properly aligned, they can cause that eyeball to have a different protruding points, meaning like this one may be a lot forward and this one is a lot backwards. So that thing can be causing misalignment on your eyesight, and you if you address that, you probably have a better prescription if you are using prescription. That is one of the things why I'm so obsessed. And sometimes I also looking at people's leg, and I was so obsessed with that. I was like, why am I looking at this people's leg? Look at that. It's so beautiful. It's so aligned. It was like so symmetrical. And ours is not like that. And I get to understand that because I feel like in junior high, in middle school, I was having a trouble to walk. So that was the time when I realized, oh, I'm actually having problem with my walking. Why do I walk really weirdly? And I don't walk in such a like symmetrical ways because the feet, when you put your feet on the ground and you see how you walk, when you watch your feet on the ground walking, you kind of like see the pace instead of being like this, like forward, you are like this. And the what do you call it? I don't the angle is different. This one is more like this, so going outside, and this one is like more straight. So you kind of like see the I don't know the terms. The way your feet moving is because how your hips are not aligned properly. And this is I think like only for women, because if you have a period, if you are in your period, you will have less period pain when you know how to work with your hips. So I found an exercise that can help me release the tension and eventually making less and less painful along the way. And I found it when I was like in college. So long after I have those periods, painful periods, I'm like, oh, actually, we can work it this way. We can work it this way. My parents, my mom, I asked my mom, it was so painful. Why would I have this every single month? Hold it. I have it like that. And I'm like, what the? It should not be this painful. So this is like the core value of why I work on my body is that your body needs to feel healthy all the freaking time. That's the ground rule. If you feel something along the way that is not good, a slight bit, maybe you have the misalignment here and there, but if you adding up all of that, it cause a great painful pressure point that can be like that. And your body needs to be healthy. I'm just like saying that's the basic core. And whenever and since I have that belief, I have worked so many different points of pressure points in my body and essentially start releasing the symptom, start releasing the experience itself. So that's why it's important. It's not just for beauty. That's the thing. See, my eyes is still not because the muscle here is actually a lot more, what do you call it? This one is a lot denser, and that's why like you can see my eyes have a different eye bag size. It's like that. But here it's looking a lot more symmetrical than it used to. I'm still not happy. And if you look at that, it is not good. So that's the thing. Maybe what you have, it's not because of you have a disease. You have a really it's not permanent. It's like critical disease and all that stuff. Oh yeah, and one time I have a really sharp pain in my chest. It's like I'm having a heart attack. And I didn't understand then, but I now understand that it was actually because of my back. I was crouching so much and I can't contain my ribs properly, support my ribs properly, and eventually it hurts my heart. But it's probably wrong. I just my assumption like that. So it can be from numerous reasons, but that's how I see it. And yeah, That's why I feel like if you have a really pronounced, prominent asymmetry in your body that you can see, that you can feel, you need to work on it because it can lead you into something else. Because I started to notice how asymmetrical my body was when I was in high school. No, when I was in middle school. When I start to notice I walk really funnily, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's wrong with my feet, but I think I'm gonna lose weight to just see what the fuck is wrong with it. And after I lose some weight, I can see like one side is a lot bigger than the other side. It's a lot prominent. And I'm looking at it, okay, this is a problem. I don't know how to address it. And from then on, I start to stretch the muscle. It doesn't work. I start to do some exercise and I become like a health freak just because I can't walk properly. And then I realized later on I I have so many different stuff going on and I need to address it. And I think that we already cover why we have the asymmetry in the first place. And I'm scratching right now. That's why I don't speak clearly. So that's the thing. That's what I want to share today. So I hope like this will help you in any way. Because if it doesn't, I don't know what will. Hmm. I'm gonna start meditating, connecting back to myself. Hmm. I think we cover all of the things that we want to talk about. It's really interesting. Now it just passed by like 20 minutes and I didn't know that I have talked 20 minutes. Do we have anything that we want to say? I'm scrouching back again. And this is what you get when you don't have proper apps to support your back. That's why I think like I'm gonna do that again. But my soul, my feet haven't healed. I don't know how to heal it. I found a few hacks to overcome it. There is no chiropractor. I know you're going to suggest that in my city. I understand that it will probably be more helpful if you can find any chiropractor in your city. But here, it's not that metropolitan yet. It's not that big of a city like Jakarta or Bali because I feel like in that place there are many more support on many places that can help the chiropractic adjustment. And if you can find one, you can actually start one session and just looking, do I have any misalignment in my body? Maybe your neck, your shoulder, maybe some tension in the muscle, some knots. If you have knots, it's painful. It's painful to fix. I found it on, oh my God, I don't know the name, on my feet. Like, what do you call it? On the ankle? Yeah, right. On the ankle around my feet, and I massage it at one time, and I'm like, it's painful. It's really, really painful. So if you want to find pressure points that is not really, it's not, is it shouldn't be there in the first place, is actually start comparing your left and right and see if it's pressure similarly. Because when you put pressure on one side, it doesn't hurt, but when you do it on the other side, it's painful. Why it would be like that? I literally scratch. I'm using like a ladle and I adjust that part myself. I think like around 2 or 3 months I do it myself every single day because I didn't do it until it become too much. So there are also rules on how to release knots, and I learned it from Dr. Dragon, which is on YouTube, and I watch her videos at the time when I'm releasing all the knots in my body. I watch her so often to know, oh, actually, I'm doing like this, I'm doing like this, and I do it myself because there's no freaking chiropractor in my city, and I did it. I can walk a lot smoother now, even though it's not perfect yet. I have fixed my hips. I'm just not having a support in my belly because I didn't do any exercise for my abs in that moment. So yeah, that's is the gist of it. But I don't think like from Dr. Mandragon, the chiropractic, know how to release the tension on the top of your roof, on the top, on the top, on the mouth, top of your mouth, on the rooftop of your mouth, because in that area there are parts of muscle that really sustain your face, how your face is facing forward facing, and also like how you use your tongue because your muscle growth, your muscle support in your face is supporting by your tongue, and the tongue has tons of muscles in it, and you if you have trouble to speak, if you have trouble to breathe, you can actually start stretching the your mouth. And I learned this stuff. I of course learned it from the Mike Mew, but the guy doesn't really have any other guide besides like stretch, like put your tongue on the top of your mouth like properly, like you put it there for how for forever. And he just say that, but he didn't do anything else. He just like informed that this is the proper way to put your to for your tongue posture, and it just like probably, but how do you actually do that? It's not forcing. Exercise might help, but the exercise that I found at the time didn't actually help. And then this year I found this guy. The name is Oscar Patel, and he is a lot younger than me, way younger than me. And he's a 2000 baby, and he built this community around the idea that you can be a supermodel looks. But what I'm there for is actually how can I release the tension on my body and just have a symmetrical face. And he did it right, and he showed his progress. He shared a couple of um, hacks that you can do, exercise that you can do by yourself at home. And that part is really, really um, really helpful. So I found it like there are some part there is really aligned because the exercise itself is not like just one. He kind of built it in, okay, we can do it this way, we can do it this way. This is the series, the sequence of exercise that you can do for your particular mm, thing that you need to work on. So there are personalization in the community, but the community, of course, it's not free. He had it he charged it like pretty low, I think, $30, $40. So if you want to actually enter that space, it's probably really helpful for you. Interesting. I'm thinking like if I haven't say anything else that is really relevant to this thing. No, we said it all. I hope this is helpful for you because I have been given this idea, having this idea for so long, and I just want to share it now. So if you have any question, if you have anything you want to say it in the comment. And I'll see